rebound and defended. Tied at 68. Kyrie splits the defense, spins it home.
10 Kyrie Irving dribble moves that shocked the world. Kyrie Irving may have some issues off the court, but there is literally no way that you can deny that he has some of the best dribble moves that the NBA has ever seen before. He has put in countless players in the blender with crossovers and spins, which is why we have gathered 10 of the most insane dribble moves that ended up shocking the world. Let's start off with this video with Kyrie taking on a player that many believe is better than him right now, Damian Lillard. Kyrie was still on the Cavaliers while Lillard was just starting off with the Portland Trail Blazers. Kyrie had a face mask on at this time, which is clearly the reason for his improved ball handling skills, but that's besides the point. He drove right into Dame with his shoulder and hit him with a half a spin, before turning back the original direction he was going, then pump faking. Lillard defending the fake spin well, but he jumped after Kyrie's pump fake, which resulted in Irving spinning again, this time going right around Dame and knocking down an easy 2-point shot to extend the Cavaliers' lead. There aren't many players in the league that can combine that many dribble moves in one possession. There are even less players that can defend that. The next dribble move confused his defender completely. He took the ball up the court and went behind the back around a screen that his teammate had set. Right when he finished the move, his defender went to cut him off in the paint. The only problem was that Kyrie already pulled the ball back and had his defender looking the opposite direction of where he was actually going. Irving then pulled up for a completely uncontested 3-point shot, which he knocked in. The whole stadium made a sound of approval after the disrespectful series of dribble moves by Kyrie. The defender didn't even stand a chance. This dribble move shocked the world just because of who it was that he crossed over. It was the beginning of a game between the Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors when Kyrie decided to extend Cleveland's already massive 13-point lead. Kyrie worked his way around a screen with Steph Curry right on his tail. Kyrie went with a behind-the-back dribble move to get Curry to jolt back in his direction. When he did, Irving crossed him over and has Steph looking the other direction for a second, while he rose up and knocked down the deep 2-pointer. It isn't often that you see Curry get surprised by a dribble move. After all, he can do pretty much all of them himself. Speaking of a player with a ton of handles himself, Bradley Beal has them as well. In this clip, he happens to join Curry as players that were on the receiving end of Kyrie's ruthlessness. Kyrie called for an isolation with Beal up on him from behind the 3-point line. Kyrie started down for a little bit to try and find an opening before making his move. He bobbed his head up while doing a small crossover, and Beal left the ground to try and defend it. Kyrie sprinted past him and pulled back to him with a couple of more dribble moves in order to soften him up more. When he felt good about his position, he drove onto the baseline and pump faked, getting Beal to jump for a second time, took the contact, and sank the 2-point shot. He confused Beal so much that he fell for 2 fakes in one possession and even fouled him during his shot. Yet, it didn't matter. Nobody was stopping Kyrie on this possession. Beal just happened to be in his way. This next one comes with 7 seconds left in the first half of Game 3 in the NBA Finals. The Cavaliers were taking on the Warriors for what felt like the 7th straight year, and were down by double digits. Kyrie was inbounding the ball on his end of the court with those couple of seconds left. He inbounded it and immediately was handed the ball back. He sprinted all the way up the court and hit a nasty spin move on the first defender to try and cut him off. He kept his full momentum, used it to cross over Klay Thompson, the second guy, to try and slow him down. After that crossover, Thompson regained his positioning and remained right in front of him. Kyrie simply hit a Euro step and finished a tough floater over 2 Warriors defenders. By the time it had dropped, the clock had just expired on the half and narrowed the lead that the Warriors were holding on to. Here we have a dribble combination that set the whole world on fire. When Kyrie was on the Boston Celtics, he didn't get much love. However, when he hit this nasty move on a couple of Milwaukee Bucks defenders, everyone lost their minds. He drove into the lane and realized he would be cut off, so he pulled it back and tried to dribble forward again. The problem was that he was actually cut off and he just got double teamed from behind as well. Yet, somehow, he did a spin move and spun between the two defenders that were draped all over him and hit a nice, uncontested, floated in the middle of the paint. I know for a fact that their coach couldn't have been happy with a double team getting beat so easily by one of the most skilled playmakers that NBA has ever seen. Kyrie has basically every dribble move possible in his bag. For this clip, he used only a few of them. He received a pass at the top of the key and worked an Al Horford screen. When he got around his first defender, Lauri Markkanen attempted to step up and slow him down before getting to the hoop. Although he didn't seem to account for the moves that Irving knows how to pull off. Kyrie hit him with a nasty behind-the-back dribble that looked like it stunned Markkanen for a moment and then fought past the outstretched arms of another defender who tried to strip the ball away. He ended up passing up a shot to give it to his teammate sitting under the net for 2 easy points. It was still a phenomenal move, was all over social media when he pulled it off. Now we obviously have to include at least one dribble combination from his time with the Brooklyn Nets. Here he was up against the Wizards, and this defender was simply no match for him. He got a pass at the three-point line and crossed him over so bad that he could have taken a couple of shots without any contest. However, he chose to be patient and let the man come back to defend him. He unleashed a flurry of moves and easily got into the paint, where he hop-stepped and stopped dead in his tracks. Then, he spun around and neither defender in the paint even knew where he went. By the time they realized what he did, he was already shooting his two-pointer and dropped it home. Kyrie was an absolute star way before he won an NBA championship, which is why we have a clip of him undressing another defender during the Rising Stars game. He had sized up the defender, quickly crossed him over, and then hit a nasty step back. The moves were so fast and so fluent that his defender got stunned a little off the crossover and eventually stumbled to the ground, trying to climb all the way back up and defend the step back shot that Kyrie pulled out. He swished the mid-range shot and the commentators went wild, describing what he did to the poor man that went to defend him. By this point, you have basically seen every possible move, but we haven't shown you how Kyrie can completely maneuver around an entire team in one possession before this clip. He was dribbling up the court when the Rockets placed Patrick Beverley right in front of him. Beverley stepped up to guard him pretty early, which caused Kyrie to hit a behind-the-back move and another one to fully fool him again and get him enough separating to slip past him. Although, Houston sent another defender to step up and double team him, a guy that was also quickly maneuvered around. When he continued his journey into the paint, James Harden jumped past him to try and draw a foul or throw his shot off. Irving didn't even flinch. Instead, he just easily shifted his body midair to follow through on an easy right-handed layup. All of the Rockets defenders just kind of sat there stunned after it dropped, shocked that he was able to move around that many people without even losing any type of ball control. But with that, we will wrap up today's video on the top 10 dribble moves of Kyrie Irving's career so far. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Also, be sure to smash that bell icon so that you're always notified when we upload. I will see you all in the next video.